GT-LINE. We are here at the Civil Service Club at Changi. And if you remember the last time we were here, we were shooting the Kia EV9. Well, we had a request from one of our viewers who wanted to know more about the Kia EV6. And to tell us more is my co-host, Jun.
Hey, I'm Jun, and we're here now with the Kia EV6 GT-LINE.
So tell us more about the EV6.
All right, so the Kia EV6 comes in two variants, the regular single motor and this GT version, which is the dual motor, all-wheel drive, long-range variant.
All right, and it's also, it comes with some really cool futuristic looks and lots of technology. And with the introduction of the Kia EV6, they are also debuting their electric GMP, or Global Modular Platform. And what that means is all the technology used in the EV6 can also be used in their future models, like the EV9s, for instance, and also the full range of EVs coming your way.
All right, so one of the great things about the Kia EV6 is the comfort seats. Because the battery's on the floor is flat, lets you lean all the way back. It's really comfortable when you're charging your car and you want to take a break.
Right, folks, now it's time to talk about something which everybody simply loves, which is boot space. And with the Kia EV6 GT-LINE, you get a total of 480 liters of space, and with all the seats turned down, a total of 1,260 liters. Right, folks, it's now that time of the video, which we call the in-car review. And helping me out today is my co-host, Jun.
Hey, guys.
All right. So what Jun is going to do, he's going to tell you more about things like how the car handles and some of the aspects of the car as well. But what I'm going to do here is I have a more comfortable job of just sitting here and rattling on about things like, the pricing and everything else. Okay, so that being said, let's go. First of all, if you're driving it in Singapore, the car costs $289,999, including COA. And the good thing news about it is you buy an EV in Singapore, the government actually gives you rebates. So because this car falls under the VSA1 banding, so you get an EAI rebate of $15,000 and also another $25,000, which kind of amounts to about $41,000, which brings the price of the car down to maybe about $240 or $230 plus. You might want to double check with the dealers on that as well. All right. And in terms of specs of the car, in terms of its length and everything else, this car is 4.6 meters long, 1.8 meters wide, and 1.55 meters in height. And what that boils down to you for a driver and passenger, which means more space. You get more headroom, more legroom, not only for the front drivers but also for the back as well. All right. Okay. Now, let's talk about some of the other important features in the Kia EV6. First of all, it boasts an 800 volt ultra fast charging capability, which I think is very important because most drivers don't want to waste time charging their cars, and this car with its ultra fast volt charging system actually allows the car to be charged very fast, and that's something to be.
So how fast is that?
Okay, yeah. Okay, so when it comes to charging, of course, you know that there's basically two types of charging. When it comes to EVs, there's the DC charge and also the AC charging system. All right, so with DC charging, or fast charging as we call it, it allows the EV6 to go from 10 to 80% within 18 minutes. That is very impressive, because most cars that I've tried it does it within like 20 minutes or 30 minutes as well. And this one actually does it in 18 minutes, which to me is quite impressive. And with AC charging, or slow charging as we call it, it goes from 10 to 80% within 8.2 hours. 8.2 hours, which is something that you probably wouldn't do this at home after you come back from work and kind of charge your car. All right, and then of course the other most important point as an EV driver, you want to know how far can this car go on a full charge. It goes to about 506 kilometers on a single charge, and if you compare it to all the other cars out there, I would think it's really on the higher end spectrum of range that's available out there as well. Okay, right now, and so what I'm going to do now is talk about some of the safety features that's available in the car in the EV6. There's a total of about 17 safety features, and I'm not going to go through all of it. It's going to probably take a couple of hours. Okay, so I'm just going to talk about run through some of the stuff which I thought was important for you to know about. Things like your blind spot collision avoidance assistance. And so what it means is basically, when you're driving, it comes to a blind spot, it actually kind of pushes you back into the lane in case you might be banging into something else. Okay, and there's also the blind spot view monitor, and that is once again more kind of applicable to your parking. When you want to park your car, it actually shows you about what's available in your blind spot. And there's also things like your forward reverse parking assist, once again really related to more parking. And that's the surround view monitor, which I think is really excellent because it gives you a 360 view of the whole parking environment. Things like what's behind you, at the side of you, and you can actually switch views of the camera if you want to find out more about what's happening on different sides of the car. Okay, and then last but not least, one of the things that I thought was impressive is the safe exit warning system. And how this actually works is, example, you plan on exiting the car, and it feels that if there's something coming or a car passing by you, it actually won't allow you to open the door, which I haven't really come across this feature in other cars as well. Okay, and something which we also tested out was the remote smart parking assist. We actually did it in the EV9. There's a video on how the system works. We'll provide you a link in the description of the video, just in case you're wondering. But we did a test of it, and it was really quite fun to see how the car actually kind of went forward and backward. Okay, right. Okay, and so now let's talk about one of the driving features, some of the driving features of the car itself, which once again, to me, is a real test of how the systems actually work. We had the there's a smart cruise control paired together with your lane assist. And as you know, when it comes to smart cruise control, there's actually two types of cruise controls, the active and the passive. But with the active cruise control, and how we really tested is the fact that when we pair it together with the lane assist, you actually see how well the car actually stays in the lane. And when you took the corner in the tunnel, you actually saw for yourself that it actually kept into the lane. And to me, that is really a test of how a system actually works, because I've tested it in a few other models and it was just basically crap. But the EV6 did a really excellent job of maintaining it's the lane, how it stayed in the lane, and actually staying away from the next vehicle. All right, so that is basically some of the more important stuff that I thought for you as a driver wanted to know about. And now over to Jun, who's going to tell us a bit more about the car.
Thank you, Renee. So, as a driver myself, one thing I always want to know is how much power does this car have? So this car packs 321 horsepower and 605 newton-meters of torque. That's sports car level.
Yeah, exactly.
Absolutely. And this car has a really, really low center of gravity. What that boils down to is great handling. We took it round corners, no understeer, no oversteer.
Right. Okay, and some of the other stuff that I'll kind of talk about as well is the car also comes with a drive mode select, and you're probably familiar with drive mode select. But what I'm going to do is tell you a bit more about what this car actually has. So with the drive mode select, it actually gives you a choice between eco, normal, and sports. Okay, and as the name suggests, economical. So what it does in the EV6, it actually cuts down power, and it actually gives you energy saving in the sense that it controls how much of power actually goes to the car. But don't be mistaken, power is always on tap, whenever you need it. And I think let's give it a show how when you tap on the accelerator, man.
Alright.
Okay, so you actually we're gonna go to eco, and you see that power, you just got to pull. So it actually still gives you power on tap. And also, what I was really surprised to find about that, this car actually has paddle shifters. And you're thinking, paddle shifters on an EV, why would an EV actually have paddle shifters? Well, with the EV6, the paddle shifters actually allows you to maximize, to either go faster or slower without actually while you're still maintaining your foot on the accelerator. Okay, and something else that is available in other cars as well is the smart regenerative braking system. Okay, and for those of you not familiar about what that whole system is all about, well, what it actually does is when you release the accelerator, some of the braking power is actually generated back to your battery, and it gives you a bit more power in terms of range. Not really that much, but it kind of helps, kind of gives you more range, increase your range as well. Did I miss out anything else?
Yeah, absolutely. And this car has this really cool function where It has cornering cameras.
Cornering cameras.
So every time you signal your car, left, right, a camera pops up. Let's see, look at all the blind spots. This is really great for maneuvering around the urban landscape, the car parks, tight corners.
Exactly, it kind of gives you an idea about all the blind spots and everything else. Okay, and I think one feature which which I also want to bring up is the fact that this car actually comes with ventilated seats, which is really excellent for us living in Asia, where it's always hot and humid, and when you're driving, you always get your sweaty back. But with the car ventilation seat, it actually gives you that nice little feeling of air blowing in your back, which once again, something which all car brands should implement in their cars. And I think that's about as much information we want to give you right here on the Kia EV6. Okay, I certainly hope you found this video informative. Right now, that's basically it for me and of course my co-host.
Sure.
All right, now on to the summary. Right, folks, it's now time for us to do our drive summary. And right here on Revv, it's not always a bed of roses whenever we do our car reviews. We always talk about the good and the bad, and that goes the same with the Kia EV6. I think, for me, the biggest thing that is, not say bad, but the thing that's going to stand out for a lot of motorists is the price point. And being in Singapore with the COE being involved, this car costs about $289,000 on the road. And even with all the rebates the government is giving you, it brings it down about $240,000. And as a motorist who's deciding to maybe get a new car or switch from an ICE to an EV, $240,000 gives you the option to think about whether I should still stick with my ICE or get another EV. All right, so that I think is the biggest thing that a lot of motorists will be thinking about if they should decide to go with the Kia EV6. Other than that, based on the drive that we had and also the bunch of technology you're getting out of it and the comfort, I think the Kia EV6 GT-Line is definitely an EV that you want to consider. You're going to say a big Revv evolution thank you to our friends over at Cycle & Carriage for allowing us to have the Kia EV6 GT-Line for our review.
And to find more about Revv Evolution, check out our social media platforms. Any questions about the Kia EV6, drop us a message and we'll be happy to hear.
That's right. On behalf of myself, Renee, and
Jun,
signing off.